Hey y'all, welcome to our daily walk. Nate and I are taking a walk outside on this beautiful rainy day, and we're going to share some discussion. This is not our typical setting, of course. We're not in the garden, instead walking through the garden of life. And y'all have been with me before on these walk and talks. And today we're going to have a little discussion about what Jesus, Lao Tzu, and nature, and Nate, and my own heart understand as the way. Jesus gave us understanding lessons of how to wake up every day and help God knit heaven onto earth through us. I have recently, my algorithm always knows what I need, I guess, but recently many videos about the fall have come my way, and I don't watch them all, but I do have a few trusted sources out there that I like to follow along for discussion. But either way, the fall meaning our fall from divinity. When everything just cracked away from its center. When the holy, divine, sacred geometry, as dreamt up by our Creator, cracked. It is actually a great joy of mine to study teachings, different philosophical teachings, and finding the common thread, the symbolism that marries all of everything. And that's not to say that there is not good and is not bad. There is not truth and untruth. What I'm saying is there are breadcrumbs. There are true teachers. There are lighthouses placed all throughout reality. And it is for our best good to develop in right relationship with the Christ inside so that we can see which lighthouses to trust, which breadcrumbs to follow. And that there is one of the ways in which the Holy Spirit guides us, again, to knit heaven back on earth. One day when I was particularly heavy-hearted, and I took myself to church, and admittedly I don't go to church every week. Not traditional church. I find church in nature and in the garden. But I walked out of the service, still heavy-hearted, of course, because there was something sticky. There was residue upon my soul that was sticking to me, and I was very aware of an original sin somewhere along my journey that needed medicine, needed prayer, needed presence, needed rightship. And upon the wall it said, God is not done. The story is not finished. Just patience. Patience. And that's what brings me to the concept of the fall, and of course, turning our back from the fall, taking all the lessons with it, and righting our ship to knit heaven on earth, to draw back the story of God into our lives. One of the ways in which I've found most reliable in helping me to do this is through one of the teachings of Jesus that unlocked a whole lot in my heart, and I know you know what I'm talking about. They're all profound, but some of them just really speak to you like you are the doorknob, you are the lock, and there's the key that was meant for you. And this one in particular got me, which was each morning upon waking, hurry and rest in God. Hurry and rest in God. And that word hurry has been highlighted for me, because in the hurry for anything else, I become lost. I become clumsy, confused, frustrated, and then everything is done without divinity. It is more orchestration of unholiness and mess. And that's okay, because this is my human journey. But most recently, I have been so aware, so cautious, so mindful that I do not hurry. And it started with that moment at church. God is not done with you. And I felt my whole body relax. And suddenly hurry and deep resistance weaned a little bit. It struck me, my heart softened, and I said, hey, God is speaking to me right now. And if God speaking to me rests the hurry and urgency in my heart, then that is probably the way I'll hear God best. And then that verse that is one of the keys that unlocks and activates my soul, and activates the memory, and activates my ability to access the Holy Spirit's knowledge for me in every single move of my life, is to stop hurrying. Hurry each morning. Hurry and rest in God. Incredible. I love the play on words too. The cleverness gets me. I'm a writer. I like to write things, and I love cleverness like that. And so I do. And I appreciate the word hurry to rest in God, because how often do we wake up in the morning and we hurry to our first thought and our second thought, and soon we're having many thoughts at once. And I know that folks will tell you you can only have one thought at a time. And I'm not gonna try to debunk neuroscience or anything, but sometimes it feels like I'm having 100 thoughts at once, and it is so uncomfortable. So in the morning, I hurry, and I ask God to take me. Take me, have all of me, show me what's next. And if I need to do that another time or several times throughout the day, I do. And it becomes easier. I'm very blessed to be in a line of work that directly addresses nervous system health. The nervous system, science, biology, all of these things are a study, a way to play inside of God's creation. And we cannot divide our bodies and the biomechanics and the physiology that occurs there from what we understand about God. We can't divide that and shut out the conversation that the Holy Spirit is having through us, through our body, the entire intelligent system together, bound by the Holy Spirit. And that's just to say the nervous system. When the nervous system is heightened, it's fearful, it's hurried, it has a lot of ideas, but the hands are unsteadied, and the decisions are fearful. And so we hurry to rest. And soon after that, the whole phrase changed. It's just wake up and rest in God. Wake up and rest. And so I invite you, my friend, today to step outside and witness the way God has made everything perfect. There is no hurry. I planted calendula, a lot of it this year. And even if I wanted to, there is no rushing a flower out of its bud. Of course, you can nourish it, give it plenty of sunshine, water. But that flower will thrive most and only in the conditions of the entire ecosystem that was created divinely and is present in nature. So I invite you to apply that. And apply that awe and curiosity when you see a blossoming flower in your garden. Or the way your melon plants just a little bit every day grow and climb up and tendril onto your trellises. Apply that to something else that is moving in your life. Where do I feel a little sense of hurry, urgency, resistance? And how can I just rest in this? Rest upon my faith in God. Rest in God's hands. Lay there. Lay my hands on my own heart and ask the Holy Spirit to move through me in God's designed way. That sacred geometry. Invite back in that sacred geometry, the perfection. And see the way. Heaven and earth are infusing together, piece by piece. One branch, one leaf, one perfectly timed moment at a time. And therein lies our return to the Garden of Eden, because that is the plan. That is God's plan. And I feel it just more alive every single day. So many of us do. Do you? If you're still with me, share a little bit down below. So there it is. No strings attached. Nothing to gain here. But I know that every time a brother or sister rests their heart, every time they lay onto the perfect tapestry of God and be sewn into it, so too does that celebration activate my own life. And so let's share in that. Let's come together in a softened brow, in a deep breath, and a choice to stop this hurry and rest in God. Thank you for this beautiful walk today, for joining me for this discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How about you, Nate? Do you want to hear what they have to say? I do. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, you know I'm obsessed with beets, and I'm officially calling it these deep red, Detroit dark red beets. Oh my god. They're my favorite.